Go.
All right. Thank you, Sababhai. Assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on where you are joining from. My name is Salman, and I am the current chair of the Sir Syed Global Scholar Award Program. On behalf of the SSGSA Executive Committee, I welcome you all, and in particular, the 27 newest members of the SSGSA family to this orientation session for the application cycle 22-23. So before we begin with the regular proceedings, as per the tradition of AMU, we will start with Tilawat-e-Quran. And with that, I request Mr. Muhammad Irfan, who is a SSGSA scholar from the session 2019, and he is currently a PhD student in the Florida State University, to recite the verse from Holy Quran. Irfan, over to you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودأك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you so much, Irfan. Now, before I go on to lay out the agenda, I would again congratulate to all the students who got selected for the award this year. So while this speaks volumes about your excellent profile, I would also like to acknowledge that there were at least 27 more uh, students who missed the merit list by a whisker. And therefore, I would expect that the students who have made it to the final list would make the best use of this award and secure the admits in the reputed graduate programs around the world. So in the next 30 to 40 minutes, we will give a brief introduction about the SSGSA program. We will have a guest lecture from Dr. Zafeer Ahmad. We will give a brief overview on how the application processes in the US and European universities look like, and then how SSGSA goes on to prepare you for those applications. Then we will give a brief summary of how the finances of the SSGSA work, and then what all the webinars and all that we organize to help you prepare the applications to the best way. Then in the later stage, we will introduce you to all the successful scholars who are joining the graduate program this year. And out of those 13 scholars, 3 of them will be making a short talk. And I encourage you all to get introduced to them so that they can guide you in the application process. And finally, we'll take your questions. And for the question and answer session, we can go as long as we want. Bye-bye. Can you go to the next slide, please? All right, so SSGSA was founded in 2006 by 4 AMU alumni, Dr. Syed, Dr. Rehan Bakri, Mr. Syed Ali Rizvi, and Dr. Saif Sheikh. So SSGSA was a result of some conversations between the AMU alumni in Boston, and then they got to know that some more people are interested in starting a program like this, and that is how it got started. Which initially it was known as Sir Syed Excellence in Science Award, and it was limited to the students in science-related fields like science, life sciences, and engineering. Later, the program name was changed to Sir Syed Emerging Scholar Award to cover all the faculty and departments in the AMU. And so initially, most of our applicants were for the US-based universities, and as we started gaining foothold in Europe and Australia, we changed our program to name to the Sir Syed Global Scholar Award. Recent milestone in the program was the SSGSA convention, which was organized in December 2020. And the keynote lectures were given by Professor Abhijit Banerjee and Ms. Swara Bhaskar, along with a few more talks from the successful SSGSA scholar. So if you haven't watched the recordings of those events yet, I would highly encourage you to do so. Okay. So whatever we do has been made possible with the generous contribution from our donors. And our primary donors are the organizations like Indian Muslim Reliefs and Charities, the AMU Alumni Association of Greater Chicago, the Alumni Association of Houston, Atlanta, and the Aligarh Education Endowment Fund. And beyond the organizational contribution, we have several individual donors, both who are the past beneficiaries of the SSGSA award, as well as who did not benefit from the SSGSA award, but still are interested in contributing for this program. And one key aspect about the funding is that, like, all those donations that we are coming, whether from individual donors or from the organizations, like those are the savings that are set aside from the regular people who are in regular jobs so that they can help the program. So this is not like we are getting some grant from governments and we have just to spend. So we are greatly thankful to our donors who are contributing from their savings so that we can run this program. Yeah, on that note, I would request one of our regular donors, which is the AMU Alumni Association of Chicago. And we are privileged to have the president of this association present here today. And he is going to address our newest awardees. So Dr. Zafeer Ahmad, he is the president of Alumni Association Chicago, and he is a consultant in the field of protein therapeutics, and he has an illustrious career. He graduated from AMU with a PhD in biochemistry and has been a very active member of the Ali community ever since he came to the US. Now, with that, I request Zafeer Saab to please unmute himself and address our audience.
Thank you very much. And thank you for providing me the opportunity to speak about SSGSA Global Scholar Award, which is in short SSGSA. Aligarh Muslim University Association of Greater Chicago, UMGC, is one of the largest organizations in the USA with over 100 members. Our association has supported SSGSA for over 10 years to motivate AMU students to get higher education in USA. Once the students come here, they should also support the organization to bring more students from AMU. Our long support speaks for itself about our beliefs in the mission of SSGSA and trust in the management. We consider this program so special that this is as a part of our organization, and you will be able to see this as listed as mentorship on UMGC website. Personally, I have not seen any other organization which is so organized and disciplined as SSGSA. Since I'm also the reviewer of the application, I have seen such a high level of professionalism in the selection process and the extraordinary skills applicants have. I congratulate all the new students for their selection and wish them good luck in their future endeavors. I am certain you will achieve everything you work towards. Best wishes and good luck. As Brian Tracy said, quote, there are no limits what you can achieve with your life, except the limits you accept in your mind, unquote. I hope to collaborate and provide continuous support of UMGC and wish for enormous growth of SSGSA in future. Best of luck. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Zafeer Sab, for your encouraging words and the continued support of the AMU Alumni Association of Chicago towards the SSGSA program. And before I go further and discuss the modalities of the mentorship and other procedures, I would like to let the audience know that if you have a question, you don't have to wait to the end of the question and answer session. You can just post your questions in the chat, and we have all the successful awardees present on this call, and they would answer your questions right in the chat. And if you want to ask your question verbally, then you can wait to the end of the presentation. But I highly encourage you to get started with your questions if you have in the chat. Okay, so a brief statistics about the SSGSA. As I was saying earlier, we started with a primary focus on United States, but later we gained foothold in Europe and Southeast Asia, as well as Australia. So our scholars are now spread in around 22 countries, and we have so far successfully mentored 139 students in securing the admits. So some trends from the recent year. So we initially, our very first batch was consisted of only 7 scholars, and then we have managed to increase the number of awardees to between 25 to 30 over the years. And in last 3 years, depending on our financial situation, we have been able to select between 25 to 30. Now, out of the number of people we select, not everyone make use of this award. And quite a few of them make use of it and then get funded admits abroad. So from the last 3 years, around 13 to 15 scholars are able to get the admits, and in that some of the scholars were like who did not get the funded admits and were hence not able to join the program. So our focus over the last 2 or 3 years has been to increase, like to bring this orange bar to be as close to the blue bar as possible. And amongst it, the best situation would be if those admits are like funded admits, so that the scholars can actually join the program. So we are working on like closing the gap between the blue bars and the orange bars and the yellow bars that you see in this graph. From the last year, like out of 13 students, 14 students who applied, 13 of them got funded admits, and they are joining the program this year. All of them are present on this call, and at least 10 more students from the last year are still in the active process of application, and hopefully from last year, this are at least the orange bar will increase. So now some details about how the program works. So you would have already got an email about selection, and in that we have asked you to give us some idea about your interest, in which field you are interested in and where you want to apply. Once we have that information, we will allot the mentors to you who will work with you for the next 1 year for your applications. They will help you create a personalized plan. They will track your monthly progress, and if you have any questions regarding the applications or the standardized test, they will be answering it, and they will take care until you apply for the award. So for the applications, we support the fee for the standardized test of GRE and TOEFL, and 5 other applications, 5 applications to the universities. And other than this, we also pay for sending the scores to at least 5 universities. So while we encourage you that you choose your universities carefully before you appear for the GRE, so that the free scores that are sent from the ETS, those 5 scores, you can make the best use of it. And beyond that, we still allow sending 5 more scores. Now, once you are done with the preparation of the test and you get a decent score, then we help with the application package, and the 2 primary documents in the application package is your resume and SOP. So most of our mentors are now well versed with what the graduate program requirements are, and they will try their best to bring your application package to the standard. Now, other than this basic support, SSGSA is also an excellent networking platform. So once you come to the US or Europe, you will realize that in terms of finding opportunities of career growth, networking is really, really important. Almost every major institution in India and in the world have a very vibrant alumni network which help their students. So we are trying to bring this culture to our alma mater as well. And the SSGSA network is just one of the multiple forums available for the AMU students to make use of their alumni in terms of progressing further in their career and mentorship. Now, we have honor code in the SSGSA that we expect that each and every awardee will abide by. And for that, I request Mr. Syed Ali Rizvi Sahab to mute himself and administer the pledge of this honor code to our newest awardees.
Thank you, Salman. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to help administer the SSGSA pledge. I know you're all muted, so please just repeat after me this pledge, and I'll go a little slow. I will always conduct myself with utmost academic and personal integrity. I am representing my country and culture. I will strive to return this opportunity in kind. I will volunteer my time and resources to others in future as others have done for me today. Thank you. And now that you've taken the pledge, please, in the chat box, write, I do. Every one of you, please. Now that we've taken this pledge, let us talk briefly about its importance of this pledge. These aren't just hollow words. It is very, very important to understand the importance of a program such as this, the Sir Syed Global Scholar Award. It is very prestigious, as you all know. It is run by Alligerians and for Alligerians. For the past several chair, we have had 4 of those who themselves have been beneficiaries of this program. So they understand its importance. And this program was conceptualized with this thought in mind, that while we get help, financial and otherwise, from well-wishers, AMU Alumni Association, you just heard Zafeer Bhai talking about it, and our friends and families, there will come a time that this program will be self-sustained. And that has not happened, really. So we heavily depend upon help from others, and this should not be so. If we believe in a system, a concept, an idea, if we have been helped by it, let us pave the path forward to benefit from it. And this can only happen if the beneficiaries give back to the program. Now, the oath said, the pledge says in kind, but I would say both in cash and in kind. To the best of my knowledge, there is not one single program being run like SSGSA. Yes, बहुत से ऐसे programs हैं which offer mentorship, they offer guidance, they offer support, but not financial support. We estimate that each scholar costs us about $1,000 to $1,200 a piece. आप सब maths कर सकते हैं. ये पैसा कहाँ से आता है? There's no government funding, like Kabhi Salman ne kaha. There's no government funding to it. There are no deep pockets to it. Several AMU associations and well-meaning NGOs support the program, and we are grateful to them. But SSGSA is now matured, hum jawan ho chuke hain, and we should be able to generate these funds from our own ranks. So as you all, the scholars, enter the extended family of SSGSA scholars, I want to let you know that this is very crucial that you start giving back to the program. Waqt bilkul sahi hai, guidance bilkul sahi hai, but one can never go wrong with money as well. And there is no perfect time to give back to the program. Think in your mind what the value of this guidance, the SSGSA guidance, has been to you, the help you're going to get from it or you're getting from it, and the support they're providing. How do you feel? Priceless? And if it is so, then let us help others who will follow behind you, after you, in the years to come. So please help, volunteer, engage, donate, or rather invest in the program. This is a 100% volunteer-run program, and one day soon, inshallah, you will all be in a position to give back. And that should come very, very soon. And do not wait for others to ask you. This is a program, as I said, for you and by you. And the easiest way to give to the program is to become an automated monthly supporter. $10, $20, $50, whatever you can afford, anybody can afford. So as you all come, welcome you all to the program and hope that you will honor the honor code and the pledge you've taken today. Thank you so much, and walaikum assalam.
Thank you so much, Ali Bhai, for addressing our newest scholars, and I do hope that all of them will abide by the honor code that they took the pledge for today. Now, in the next 3 slides, we will be detailing about the application process of various universities, as well as how SSGSA go about it. Our mentorship leads, first Mr. Shiva Agarwal, and then Dr. Shujat Badr will be speaking on it. And there are like 2 key takeaways that we expect that you would have from these 3 slides. And if there is any issue that you don't understand a particular thing, feel free to write in chat or ask in the Q&A session later. So the first takeaway would be, what is exactly the process in the US or European universities? You should have an idea and have a brief idea about the timeline to pursue. And second, what are the modalities that SSGSA work on? What is our procedure? How to deal with mentors, how to request the payment of your applications, and how to prepare for the various standardized tests. So if in the next 3 slides, you don't have a good answer to those questions, feel free to ask. Now with that, I request Mr. Shiva Agarwal to give insights in the US application process. So Shiva is the SSGSA scholar from the year 2018, and he is currently a PhD candidate in the Western Michigan University. Later, Dr. Shujat Badr will speak, who recently graduated from the Iowa State University, and he will be joining in a postdoctoral position soon. Over to you, Shiva, and then Shujat.
Thanks a lot, Salman Bhai. So hello everyone. We have a nice graphic to talk about the graduate admission timeline, and it is the ideal timeline that you're seeing on your screen. Now, obviously, this may change according to your situation. Ideally, if you're planning to start graduate school in fall 23, then summer 22 will be the right time to start working on it. So the process usually starts with the graduate school exams preparation, which are required for admissions to graduate schools. So you should start preparing for these tests as soon as we provide you with the test prep material this summer. So what should be the ideal time to take GRE, TOEFL, or IELTS? It is from mid-August to mid-October, and Sir Syed Day is a good reminder. You should definitely update your progress to your mentors regularly, which includes providing them updates on how you are doing on practice questions, giving in your prep material, and your mock test scores. So it is very important that you update your mentors. You can decide the frequency of updates after having discussion with your mentors. Your mentors will be able to tell you if you're ready for these exams or if you need more improvement. Only when they approve, the SSGSA will pay for your exam fees, which is very important to note. SSGSA will be having office hours for you, so make sure you make use of that, and you will be getting some details of SSGSA hours or SSGSA help hours in this presentation. So after taking also taking GRE before TOEFL is helpful, as the verbal aptitude on GRE helps one in preparing for the reading comprehensive and essay type questions on TOEFL. So during the later half of your test preparation, which is not later than September, you should start shortlisting the universities that you would be interested to apply at. During this time, it is also advised that you start asking your teachers and professors for the recommendation letters. So the universities, they usually send the online request to your references, but it is useful if you inform your professors well ahead in time. So keeping in touch with your professors is important. You do not want to ask for references from your professors when they have completely forgotten your face, right? Once you're done with the test, starting November, it is time to start working on your applications and your statement of purpose. Most of the universities have their deadlines in second week of December, so make sure you plan accordingly. Furthermore, most of the universities issue admission decisions by April. So during the wait, it is advisable to follow up with the professors at the universities you have applied to. And once you have multiple admits in hand, apart from your research interest, it is also advisable that you evaluate the feasibility of your admits from the budgetary perspective. So if you have received an MS admit, then you should start to look into education loans or other resources such as scholarships. And once you finalize where you are going for the graduate school, Upon receiving the admission documents from the university, apply for the visa, get vaccinated, plan your travel, start learning to cook, which is very essential for your survival, and spend time with your family and friends. So meanwhile, you can also start to contact Indian student clubs or Indian student associations at your university who can help you in arranging your accommodation. And with that, I think this was all I wanted to address. If you have questions, you can ask, and thanks a lot.
All right, Shujat.
You are muted, Shujat bhai.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Salman, and thank you, Shubha. So in the next couple of slides, including this one, I'll be walking you through the basic, how you go about making your application packages. So the first important step, the vital component of getting an admit is to shortlist universities. So because, if it goes wrong in the first step, then there's no chance for you to recover in the end. So what happens usually is people, falter in this step. They shortlist the universities which are not like really good for their profile. And then what happens, even if they have applied to 5 or 6 universities, they don't get any admits. So this is the very, 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 vital component of your application package. So if you want to take notes, that would be good, because there would be some things that, might not be there on the slides. So for research students, if you are focusing on a doctoral degree, or even a master's degree, and then have the aim of, going for a doctoral degree after that. So for research students, first thing that I want to mention is you have to look at the Carnegie classification of institutions of higher education. So, in today's academic market, you will see many, many different ranking websites. There is Times Higher, there is QS, there is Shanghai ranking, right? So don't bother about those kinds of rankings. They're all commercial, and it's never clear like what different markers do they take into account while ranking those universities. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. So if you are hoping to get admissions in the United States, I would suggest you to look into Carnegie classification of institutions of higher learning. If you have your computers in front of you, which you have, you're online, all of you, you can just type R1 and R2 universities in US. You'll see the first Wikipedia link that pops up, list of some research universities in US. That gives you basically a two-tier classification of these universities, R1 and R2. R1 are like the ones in which the research activity is very high, and R2 is the category in which the research activity is high. So they're both good. So as long as the university you choose falls in those categories, you're good. So this is the only thing that we would suggest you to look into while checking the rankings. And I'm sure that all of the other countries, if you're hoping to get into Germany or other countries in the UK, I'm sure that there are some official lists like these. And the second point is you have to look at the research interests over rankings. We have had many students in the past, they would just apply based on the the name of the university. For example, when it happens to all of us, when we are young, we're like, okay, I want to get into MIT, Harvard, UC Berkeley, Cambridge, and Oxford. But you have to be very realistic and see what your research interests are and where those professors are currently working in what universities. So don't just blindly follow the rankings, focus on the research interests. And then finally, if you are hoping to get into a program, let's say engineering management or MBA, or if you're doing MS and then want to get into a job, the other thing that you need to keep in consideration while shortlisting universities is you have to look at the career opportunities right after you graduate from those universities. So you have to be very, very cognizant of that fact that, yeah, I have to get a job after this. So I have to pick up a university which has a good track record of placing students, right? And don't settle for countries which have less strict admission criteria. You could go to, some places where it's not hard to get an admission. But then, usually in those countries, the career opportunities are, not as good as they are in United States or Germany or other countries. So keep that in mind. And if you want to get some application fee waivers, what I would recommend you to do is before these application cycles start in all universities, they run these workshops and open houses to prospective students. They'll invite you, send emails to you, or you have to look out for them on their Facebook pages or some other social media handles. And during those open houses, you will have their graduate program directors, their student services specialists, some professors, and you'll get to interact with them. And they will look at your profile, like, cursorily. And then if they feel that your profile is very good, they might also offer you application fee waivers. So that's one more thing if you want to save money. And I've touched upon this, that you have to have a mix of ambitious, moderate, and safe universities. You don't just go after the ranking. So depending on your profile, this list will change. For some people, UC Berkeley might be moderate. For some people, it might be ambitious. So you have to look at your profile. And then write to your potential advisors, as Shiva already touched upon, right? And so the table that we have shown you below is gives you an idea of like how to tabulate all these things. So you have the university name based on these 7 points, and then you tabulate the application deadline for all of those universities. Then you also look for like what test scores they require, because sometimes you also have to keep in consideration what your range is going to be. Are you going to score from 310 to 20, from 20 to 30? So based on that, you have to tabulate and like select universities, and then potential advisors and the application link. So this is just the table that we've shown you. This is just like to give you an idea what different things you have to keep in consideration. And when you correspond with mentors, make sure that you have a very systematic way of approaching things and keeping track of everything. So yeah, and the most important part in your relationship with SSGSA is the part where it comes to mentorship, right? So the point of contact that you would have with SSGSA is your immediate mentor or mentors, right? You might have one or like more than one mentors allotted to you. So I have these 3 different subsections laid out for you that you need to keep in mind while engaging with your mentors. And there is this, basic etiquette that we ask all of our scholars to follow. The first point is the mentor correspondence. So as I said, mentor is your primary point of contact. So if you have any questions related to your applications, your statements, your university shortlisting, that anything that has to do with your applications, mentor is the person to go to. So don't write emails to, chairman, don't write emails, unsolicited emails to executive team, don't write emails to mentorship team. The mentor is your point of contact. If anything related to your applications has to go through mentors, right? So that's what it means to be a primary point of contact. And then, you can choose to have Zoom calls set up with your mentors. You can also email them. Some people set up like, telephonic conversations. It depends on how your mentor, sees this. And, some people want to keep it very professional, so they will just keep it on email or Zoom. So make sure you talk to your mentor and like ask them what works for them. And then you have to conduct yourself with utmost propriety and professionalism. Mentor-mentee's relationship is like a student-teacher relationship. So you have to keep that in mind, there has to be that sort of professionalism involved. So make sure, and we would also like you to expect the same from your mentors, right? Sometimes what happens, sometimes some mentors don't act professionally. So in that case, there are ways that you can let us know about it. And I'll talk about that part in the issues and concerns section. The second subsection that I have is that you have to set very clear objectives and action items when you talk to your mentors about your applications. The first point is proactiveness. So you are the person who has to initiate. So, don't expect mentors to spoon feed you. If you have to, apply for, let's say, biotechnology PhD programs, Don't expect your mentor to come up with a list of 10 universities shortlisted for you. You are the one who has to do that, who has to initiate that. So you have to be proactive, right? And then purposefulness. In this one, I would say that depending on what kind of profile you have to know that your purpose is to get admitted into a university where your research interests match with the professors who are working there and which matches your profile. So your purpose has to be very laid out in the beginning. Don't just go after, universities with big names without even looking into what kind of research they do and what kind of profile you have. So make sure that you know what your purpose is right from the start. And then the last point is perseverance, right? So once you start doing something, make sure that you follow through until the end. Don't give up, right? And then if you have any issues and concerns, if some of your mentors act unprofessionally, in that case, write to us. You can either write to, me, you can write to Shiva, you can write to Salman, the chairman. So only in those specific cases. Otherwise, for smooth functioning of the things, for your applications, for your statements, anything related to applications, talk to your mentor. But if there are any issues and concerns, write to us. And if you have any emergency situations, we have had some scholars in the past, they started their work, but then something happened in their family. We have been through pandemic in these last couple of years. So in those situations, if you want to delay, if you want to talk to us, if you need some help, write to us. And then if you have any general complaints, make sure that write to us. So that sums up your relationship and like the etiquette that you have to keep in mind while talking to your mentors. So thank you. Yeah, we'd like to, if you have any questions about this process, as Salman said, we're open for your questions in the chat and I'll take up these questions in the end. Thank you. Over to you, Salman.
Thank you so much, Shajat. I hope all the points are clear to our new awardees. And if you have questions, please feel free to write in chat. Now, this was the component of mentorship. Now, once you prepare your application package, well, then next is to apply to different universities, and there the finance component will come in. And we have some very specific procedures laid out on how we will pay your application fee or for the test. And for that, I request Mr. Sachin Gupta, who is in charge of the payments, to address our students. So Sachin is the SSGSA scholar from the year 2018, and he is a PhD candidate at University of Massachusetts, Boston. Sachin, over to you.
Thank you, Salman bhai. Hi everyone. I welcome you all and very very thankful to join today's session. And especially I welcome to our new scholars and very welcome in the SSGSA family. And also would like to welcome our last year scholars who are coming to United States or is going to other part of the world. So as Salman bhai mentioned, once you are done with the planning and here comes a time to request for GRE or TOEFL or university applications, or if you want to send scores to different universities, I mean GRE or TOEFL score. Uh, so the process is very streamlined. What you are supposed to do, we will send you a Google form very soon in a separate email. You are supposed to fill it as per the requirements. Once you are done with that, please write us an email at this email ID, finance@ssgsa.us, and with CCing all your mentors. Uh, After that, once your mentors are supposed to approve the request, like they can write, okay, we approve the request. And once we have your Google form and the approval from your mentors, we will process with your payment. So just a couple of points to note that before you fill the Google form or request or write us an email, make sure to discuss everything with your mentors. Uh, and once you fill the Google form, we will just evaluate your preparation status, and if we get satisfied, we will be filling your we will be paying your payment. Couple of more points to notice that please allow us at least 5 to 7 days to process your payment, because it's like a lot of requests coming at the same moment, like especially around December 15. So please give us some time to process your payment request. And one more point to note is like we can only pay for either for TOEFL or IELTS for a language. So if you guys have any other question, please feel free to write in the chat. And congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sachin. And one more information that I would just add here is, like, before we can approve your payment for the GRE test, we will have you will have to submit at least 2 mock test scores, because we have had in the past where students said they are well prepared, but then when they go to the exam, they don't score good. So we will be, and Omar will be discussing about in detail about the GRE preparation. But before, like, this is a component of finance here, so finance team will not even consider your request if you don't submit the 2 mock test scores that you have taken. Now, next would be the GRE preparation. And for that, we have SSGSA scholar, Mr. Omar Khurshid. He is in charge of all things that are related to GRE and TOEFL. And he would lay out some procedures about the mentorship. And Omar is a SSGSA scholar from 2019. He passed out from UMass Amherst, and he is currently working with Amazon. So, Omar, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so this is going to be where we talk about how the GRE program mentorship and works. So for the GRE, this is a standardized test, as all of you know. It is in 2 main parts, along with a analytical writing section. The process in terms of the SSGSA program will be as you can see on your screens. We will first provide you with a primer, which is a list of resources, a few books, things like that. You send me an email with your mentor CC to it, and I will pass you the primer, and you start your preparation using that. Spend a couple of weeks with it, get a sense of where you are in your preparation, take a mock test, and prepare a report about what you think your weaknesses and strengths are, where you think you're lacking. And once you have sent us that information, we will send you third-party test packages as required. You'll have to send me emails every couple of weeks about your progress, ideally with a mock test score or some other quantitative measurement. So definitely CC your mentors to these emails, and we will also be monitoring all this progress through a centralized dashboard. We will also be holding weekly GRE office hours with myself, with Mr. Ahmed Faraz Badr, who's an SSGSA scholar from last year. And I encourage you to come prepared with questions, come with as specific questions as you can. The idea of these office hours is to help you get to a point where the specific weaknesses can be targeted. If you come directly looking for information about the structure of the test or something like that, which you can easily find online, it's not the best use for either of our time, with yours or mine, or whoever is taking the office hours. So come prepared with questions like, I'm struggling with essay type questions, for example, or with this specific type of math question, and we will try to help you take these office hours as soon as we get them started. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Omar. So then next slide would be, we will be discussing about webinars that we conduct for our scholars to prepare their application packages. And for that, I request Sabaudin Bhai to speak, and for the rest of the presentation from here, Sabaudin Bhai will be moderating it, moderating the session. So Sabaudin Bhai, he recently graduated with a PhD degree from the University of Düsseldorf, and he's in a postdoctoral position currently. Sabaudin Bhai, over to you.
Thank you very much, Salman Bhai. And yes, so as in previous slide, we talked about how important are the test scores and how you prepare with the GRE exams and so on. So in parallel with this, we have to be prepared well with our other application material. For example, you have to improve your CV, you have to improve your resume, and not only that, the content is important. The content means like the skills and other trainings is important. For that, we are also organizing the webinars on different topics. So for example, if you're from computer science, maybe it's very important that you are good in Python or the C++ or whatever. Or if you are from biotechnology background, maybe you are interested in some computational chemistry or biochemistry thing. So we try to cover those different topics in our webinars. And if you would like to have a look about those webinars from last year, you can just follow our YouTube channel, and you can also scan this QR code, and just it will take you to where you are supposed to go. And this year also we would like to organize webinars for you, and of course you are welcome to propose a topic of interest. And we'll be happy to organize those topics as well. So in here last year, for example, few of the very interesting ways, like about how to apply, how to make applications, like how to contact professors, how to search for fundings, and so on. And that's what we covered. And one was about networking and resume building, and one important was we covered was about the molecular modeling, was about basically computational biology and so on. So yes, we are looking forward to topics from you at our email address, tsd.ssgsa@gmail.com. And here I show you some of the scholars who are going to join different universities in this fall, and most of them are present in this call. Please free to drop questions in the chat and ask questions directly in the chat. And we'll be happy if you'll join the SSGSA WhatsApp group, and there you have this opportunity to directly post your questions anytime, day, night, and then whoever is experienced with that, he will get back to you with some answers directly. So overall, like what is our motive is that the competition is not amongst us, it's with the external people. So we share the knowledge and we grow ourselves. Yeah. And after this, so some of these scholars which I show here, so are here to discuss their success stories. So first success story here is from Harshal Gupta. He is a GSA scholar from 2021 to 22. He got the admit in PhD in physics at University of Illinois at Chicago, and it's a funded graduate research assistantship he has. And he completed his master's in physics at Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. And he did bachelor in technology in electronics from Aligarh Muslim University. So Harshal, it's your stage now. Please share your success story.
Hi, everyone. I'm Harshal, and I'll straight away get to the point. My experience with the SSGSA team has been very great for the last 1 year. And I used to have weekly interactions with my mentors, where I used to share my progress in the application process, test preparation, and even sometimes in the events of my academic life. And like they used to give me very valuable feedback, both on strengths and my weaknesses in the process which I was going on. And many times, like when I used to feel a bit underconfident, a bit low, I always used to dial up straight away to Shiva Bhai, and he always encouraged me and boosted my confidence in almost every step there. And most importantly, like without the financial support which was offered to me by SSGSA, it would have been almost impossible for me like to apply to multiple places at USA and even appear for these standardized tests. And coming to the tips that I would like to pass on to the like newcomers, I would simply say that the new awardees should maintain a constant contact with the mentors and prepare for a process in a weekly manner, like from now on. And a tip regarding the application fees, I would suggest like always mail the admission office of every university you're applying for and ask for application fee waivers. Send them your profile and like a brief statement about your financial conditions and like what struggles you have had. And chances are you'll always 100% get it. Even the place, even if it is Stanford or Princeton, you can get it easily. And some universities I mentioned also organize these open houses So attend those, find out those open houses and attend those, and they'll most probably give fee waivers to almost all the attendees. And I have noticed, like during the process, are some universities which have some certain week periods in a month, like in December or January, where they offer like no application fees to all the candidates who are applying. Like the application is entirely free for that specific weeks. So search for those weeks as well. It will save a lot of money for you, and also you can like apply to a lot more universities with the funding you'll receive from SSGSA. So that is all I had with my experience, and thank you SSGSA for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Arshul, for sparing your time and sharing your success story. So after Harshul, we have Samina Ishad Ansari, who is also SSGSA scholar from 2020 to 2022, and she got recently the Blazer Graduate Research Fellowship to do the PhD in psychology from University of Alabama, Birmingham. And she did her master's in psychology from Jamia Millia Islamia University, and she did her bachelor's in psychology from Aligarh Muslim University. So Samina, stage is yours.
Thank you, Zafeer Bhai. Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. So first of all, I would congratulate all the new awardees for receiving this prestigious award. And to be honest, this is so much more than an award because you get to join this community of very inspiring and humble individuals. So exactly 1 year ago, I received this award, and all I knew was that I wanted to get a specialization in neuro developmental disorders, and I was very confused as to whether I should go for a master's or a PhD. And my first interaction, my first meeting with my mentors, Rehan Bhai, Sadia Bhi, as well as Umair Bhai, was about helping me get clarity on my career goals, and basically that really helped me choose whether I should go for a PhD or for a master's, and I chose PhD. Now coming to the applications, so you all might know by now that application consists of a few components, and one thing that I absolutely dreaded was the GRE because of mathematics. I am not good at maths, but thankfully SSGSA provided the Princeton review package for preparation, and we also had the SSGSA office hours, which really helped me, along with some additional materials that Omar Bhai shared with me upon requesting. So my mock score bounced from 298 to 310. And even I was surprised within 3 weeks, how was that even possible for me? So yes, SSGSA did help me a lot with that. Now coming to the most essential parts of your application, which is the SOP as well as the resume. My mentors were very active, and they really took out time from their busy schedules to communicate with me back and forth via email or over a phone call, especially around the time when I was actively submitting my applications. So I really thank them for that, and also for encouraging me and motivating me during my interviews. I was very scared, very nervous, but all it took was just one Zoom call with my mentors, and I was very calm and relaxed and very well prepared, to be honest. And now here I am. I have an admit, and I will be joining the University of Alabama at Birmingham in coming fall. So all thanks to my mentors and the SSGSA team. One thing that I would like to advise all the new awardees is that be as proactive as you could be, and really look up for everything that you have on the SSGSA resources website. They really have a lot of information there, and they also have a lot on the YouTube channel, which would help you at every stage of your application. So check that out and be as proactive as you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Samina, for sparing your time and sharing your success story. So after Samina, we have with us Madiha Noman, and she's also from the same batch of the awardees of SSGSA, and she got the scholarship, joint scholarship by Cambridge Trust and Hawks Hall to do PhD in English from University of Cambridge, and she did masters in English from Aligarh Muslim University, and also bachelor she did in communicative English from Aligarh Muslim University. So Madiha, it's your stage now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sabah. Good evening and good morning, everybody, depending on where you're currently situated. I will also like to begin with the very cliched congratulations to the new batch of SSGSA scholars. But at the same time, I have full faith that after a year, I would be seeing you on this side of the program, sharing your own success stories, inshallah. Today, I would constrain myself to just a couple of things. The first thing that I would be highlighting would be the mentorship and experience that SSGSA provides holistically. I understand that all of you come from very different backgrounds and you are certainly going to have very different career trajectories, but everybody in the SSGSA team has gone through the same process at some point of time. And the mentorship, of course, that they're providing comes with that firsthand experience. So there are many mistakes, for example, that I did while applying. And so if I will be mentoring somebody, I'd be very mindful of conveying those to somebody who's going to be applying in the future. So the point is to, I'd be greatly emphasizing that you need to take advantage of the experience that the mentors have and the platform itself without any hesitancy. I was applying for the very first time in the previous cycle, and boy, I had the most dumbest questions out there. But I asked them anyway, because the mentors are very patient. They would listen to you to understand the whole process, and sometimes it can be very overwhelming. So, to get that experience from them would be really helpful. So the offer that I have actually is literally the result of the multiple conversations that I had, which made me ultimately take the risk of applying to Cambridge. Which leads me to the second point, which I'll just keep it very short because I think a lot of you have emphasized on that. It would be to be a bit more conscious of the privilege that you're being provided with. The SSGSA platform or any such platform, to be honest, it has been provided to you because of your merit, but the judicious use of the platform is, I believe, your own responsibility. So to be proactively communicating with your mentors, to be doing the research, to understanding what your own profile is like, to have realistic expectations, to shortlisting the universities, understanding the process, understanding the research areas of your particular supervisor, that is something the onus lies really upon you. And to be provided with this platform also means it comes with the responsibility of making good use of it. So this is all that I have to really add. And this is where I will stop boring you and hand over the platform back to the moderator. So Sabah bhai, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madiha, for sparing your time and sharing your success story. And with that, so let's move to next part. And here I would like to share with you like how far we are there. And yes, of course, we are spread around the globe. And it's like, I remember the anthem, जो अप्रयास से उठेगा वो सारे जहाँ पे बरसेगा, and we are really spread around the globe. And as you can see, so many universities, it's not the complete list, it's like selected universities you see there, and we are really spread around the globe. And it's like academia, and not only academia, we are also spread in the corporate sector, as you can see in Microsoft, be it Google or Intel, anywhere. So we have a strong network across academia and industry. So I will say that stay connected with the SSGSA community even after you graduate from your graduate school. So because that's how we are going to build the connection for our future scholars, and that's how we can share our knowledge, and that's how we are going to give back to our community. And all the major universities have the alumni networking events, and SSGSA conventions are a step in that direction for our alma mater. So the achievements, the success, and something like that we publish in our newsletters, and it covers the articles from the SSGSA scholars related to graduate school selections and so on, and achievements, or for example, if we get the jobs and the news about the SSGSA events are published in these newsletters. And soon we will start also the something like a story of the month. So it will be published every month, and then we share in our newsletter about something like that. And for something like that, what I will recommend is that you can go to the webpage ssgsa.us newsletters and sign up for the website newsletters, and then you receive directly those newsletters in your inbox when it is published. So when you will go to this website, you will find that there's many wonderful stories of the previous scholars published in the newsletter. And I'll be happy, or let's say it will be nice if you go to that website and read that, because it will also motivate you. And after this, I would like to introduce to you our team SSGSA, and as you can see, the executive committee is composed of the chair Salman, and Syed Ali Rizvi Bhai, and Saf Sheikh Bhai, Dr. Rehan Bakri Bhai, Dr. Shahid and mentorship application team is led by Shujat Bhai, who is of course now on PhD, and Ashrul leads the finance team. Web portal is led by Prajwal Nihara, and the outreach team in the campus and the worldwide is led by Umar. And Mohammed Zubair is leading the promotions team, and I am leading the training and skill development team. So this is our team, SSGSA. And what I will say is that you can also connect not only on the Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, but also on the LinkedIn and also on Instagram. Through our web pages, so you can just search their these names, and then you will find us, and just follow us there and stay connected. The overall thing is, like, we should stay connected now from now onwards till the very last. So for final words, I will request Wasikul to come up, and Wasikul is what I can say about him. He's a former chair of SSGSA, and he's currently a research associate at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and he's also physicist at Atlas Experiment at CERN, and he finished recently his PhD in physics at Oklahoma State University in the United States. So Wasikul, if you are here on the call, please please give the concluding remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Salahuddin Bhai. So first of all, I would like to congratulate again to all the new SSGSA awardees. So far you have listened to excellent presentations by several SSGSA team members. I will try to summarize. You should keep writing to your mentors. You should understand that it's your opportunity to make the best use of the assigned mentors and the SSGSA program. It should never be the case that mentors complain that you don't respond. So I'm sure when mentors will be assigned. Our mentorship team will explain that to you again. You should make the best use of all the skill development workshops and webinars and different events which are organized only for you. You should not miss them unless if it is not relevant to your specific subject, etc. And you should keep sharing your updates and stories with us all the times, even if they are success stories, achievements, and even there are some other stories, including some of the obstacles or failures which you are facing. You should know that we are always there to help each other. So if you face any obstacle where SSGSA members as your family can help, please never hesitate to reach out. And you can reach out to SSGSA team through your assigned mentors, as Dr. Shujat Badr was telling you, that your mentors are your primary point of contact. And you are always welcome to reach out to SSGSA chair if required. And also you can reach out to any member of the SSGSA team by writing to their personal email IDs. And in the SSGSA website, there is a contact form which you can fill anytime to reach out to SSGSA team for any concern. So I will end this slide with my best wishes to SSGSA scholars again, and I'm sure all of you will do great in life and will make AMU, SSGSA, and India proud. We are very happy and excited to have you all again in our SSGSA family. Sabuddin bhai.
Thank you, Asikul bhai, for your concluding remarks. And with that, now we are finally open to questions. So you can just unmute yourself and start asking questions, or if you're not comfortable, you can just write in the chat. We are happy to take over to your questions either way. Please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sabah, for coordinating the second phase. And all right, with that, I request Sabuddin bhai to end the call. And it was nice for everyone to join. And do follow up with your questions either on email or on the WhatsApp group. I hope every one of the new awardees have joined the WhatsApp group already. Thank you so much.
I would like to thank you, Dr. Zafeer, once again for joining us today for this important event of SSGSA, the orientation event. And along with that, I thank you everyone, everyone from the SSGSA team who joined this call for this orientation. And I congratulate all the new scholars and wish you all the best to the scholars who got the admits and everyone. And with that, I would end the session for today. Thank you very much to all of you once again.